Hey everyone, Zion over here from Nintendo Life. So back at the Xbox showcase, Atlas, and Sega, and Microsoft announced that a brand new game in the Persona series, a spin-off, will be coming out, Persona 5 Tactica. And if you're like me, maybe you're feeling a little bit of Persona 5 fatigue. You know, Persona 5 came out maybe almost a decade ago now. I don't remember for certain. But recently, I had the opportunity to go hands-on with the game. I played it for about a half an hour, ran through a bit of the story, and got a good idea of what the gameplay is like. I did play on Xbox Series X, but Felix is actually here to interrogate me, to lock me in a jail cell and ask me all about my time with the game.
Hey everyone, I am here, and some of you may know, I'm playing through Persona 5 at the moment, so I am not having a Persona 5 fatigue. Actually, I'm having the renaissance. I don't know what the word is.
You're absolutely right though. I mean, like you're in the thick of it right now, so you are the perfect person.
I understand all of you. I understand why it's getting such high praise, and I'm actually really excited about this release. I don't know a lot about it. So I have some questions for you, Sion, because I imagine a lot of people, maybe who haven't followed this game, just it looks different. Is the game like in the same universe? What kind of gameplay is it? I mean, you can get some of the ideas from watching the trailers, but it's really nice to have someone like you who's played it, and we're just going to talk about that.
Thanks, man. Yeah, and I agree. I mean, there are a lot of kind of unknowns. Sega's released quite a few trailers on I think some of the Japanese accounts, and even in on the North American side as well. Yeah, and sadly they didn't let us capture footage at the event. They did send us some screenshots that are supposed to be new, so maybe Felix, you'll throw some of those in here. But otherwise, there'll be some cool trailer footage to accompany this conversation.
Yeah.
I think one big important detail that I think I like to throw in right off the bat is the game Persona 5 Tactica seems to start you off right kind of at I'm thinking it's at the end of Persona 5. I haven't played Persona 5 Royal, so I don't know how that shakes out yet. And I know you don't either yet, Felix, since you're in the middle of that. But the story starts out with you in LeBlanc with all the Phantom Thieves.
Oh, that's really cool.
Basically. And I think once that kicked off, by the way, that fatigue that I was mentioning went away immediately, because it sets you up in this you're in LeBlanc with all the thieves, but the cafe looks different, and all the characters look different because they're animated in a different art style, and it was kind of all the original voice actors seemed to be back, and so it just kind of felt like this warm blanket, if that makes sense, because it was just kind of getting the band back together and getting to hang out with them again. So I even though like I said, I'm a little tired of Persona 5 stuff coming out, over time. I just want to see what Persona 6 is. I still walked away with this kind of being pretty impressed with the story on offer so far. But
so what is the story in this game from what you played the first 30 minutes? So you meet in LeBlanc, and then what happens?
Yeah.
Do you have to go into another palace? Is it just what's going on here?
Sure. So Joker and the Phantom Thieves are all just kind of hanging out, and I think they talk about. By the way, if you haven't played Persona 5, I think there are some things that do get spoiled in the early part of Tactica. So I won't mention those things here, but just keep in mind that if you've never played Persona 5,
that's really good to know for people who are potentially playing through it or don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, especially with your character lineup, you get to kind of see your entire party, which I think was one of my favorite parts of Persona 5, was just kind of discovering who was going to join the team over time, and
Yeah.
I think if you just look around on the internet, you'll be able to figure out who joins anyways.
I mean, you can just look at the box art and you can pretty much see everyone who's in your but it is true. If you don't do that or don't watch the intro cutscene, I didn't really pay attention to which characters were on the box art, and it is really cool to see, is this person going to join the team? Is this person going to... And a lot of people really do join the team, so it's really nice going in as blind as possible with that.
Yeah.
But if you don't care about that, I've seen the trailers of this, and I've seen some of the characters, and there's a lot of characters here. Is it only characters from Persona 5 that appear, or are there some references to other characters or?
Well, I guess I'll officially answer both of the questions that you asked now.
Okay.
So the story, it sees all of them hanging out in LeBlanc, and like the TV, they're watching the TV and the news is on, and all of a sudden like the screen just kind of goes like gray and fuzzy, and it's not like a Persona 4 thing where I don't think maybe they get pulled into the TV. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah. I've played some of Persona 4. That's exactly what happens.
Okay, so it's either it's reminiscent of that, where like the screen goes like gray, and then either they like black out and they wake up in this other dimension or something. But it kind of almost feels like they've been like transported into a palace, because now all the Phantom Thieves are wearing like their proper outfits, and there's something going on with Morgana too. I don't remember exactly what it is. My brain's a little foggy on it, but
maybe there's treasure nearby or something.
Oh yeah, maybe. Of course. So all the for the most part, all the Phantom Thieves are there, and you end up. I don't know at what part throughout the journey it is, but you meet this new character named Arena, and she seems to be a part of this like other army almost, or like this. She maybe leads this like other group of soldiers in this world, and there's this like super intense, really tall kind of like, not maestro, but like a ringleader almost of like these soldiers, kind of like she storms in, and she actually ends up taking like places a spell on Skull or Ryuji, and like he ends up joining her team.
For real?
Yeah. That was perfect, dude. Was that a sound effect? You have a Persona 5 soundboard over there?
No, it was just me.
Oh, that was so good. But yeah, so Ryuji for real joins the other team, and you end up having to fight against the other team kind of without hurting him. And I think the goal is to try to get him back. But
that's super cool.
But yeah, so you're in this world that you don't entirely know what's going on. It sounds like there's going to be some new characters, but most of the Persona 5 cast will come along too. And I think since like at the beginning there, Ryuji kind of got like mind controlled. I think that's might be kind of their way of, like in a Zelda game or something, where like, Tears of the Kingdom starts off, Link loses all of his powers like because something happens. I think that's going to be kind of this way's game of kind of like stealing all of your party members and then like giving them back to you slowly. I don't know for certain, but that would make sense to me if that's the kind of the way they do it.
And I have a very important question, Sion. Is the music good?
I should confirm if it's the same composer or not. I think he has returned for this as well. But yeah, there are some new tracks. Like there's like a really cool new vocal theme. I can't remember if it was like in the intro or what, but yeah, there is some new music for this game. I don't know like what kind of split it's gonna be, but I will say like I've listened to a lot of Persona 5 stuff too. You've probably listened to more than me, but there were tracks that did not sound familiar at all. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it really doesn't seem like, when I first saw that this got announced, I was kind of like, it's just like a tactical RPG that kind of, it kind of riffs off of like XCOM or the Mario plus Rabbids style gameplay. And I wasn't really like jiving with the character designs and everything, but they look a lot more like unique than I like initially gave them credit for, and it just, it fits the Persona 5 style. It's very flashy. The music, it sounds great. And I'm trying to think
the UI is a total mess, but in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. It absolutely is like all over the place, but it's very like meticulously crafted. And yes, I'm trying to think of something negative to say about the game really so far, but maybe I'll come back to that if I think of something.
Sure. I mean, I think is the game fun? I mean, you got to play like almost half an hour. I've tried those kind of like tactical RPGs. I'm actually not the biggest fan of those games, but maybe since it's in a Persona 5 universe and all that stuff, maybe I can be turned around. So what did you think? Yeah,
so it's, like I said, it's a Mario plus Rabbids style, like cover-based tactical RPG, where you kind of like move around a grid and hide behind stuff, and you'll get like you'll be able to deal more damage depending on like how close you are to the enemy, but then that opens you up for attacks, based on positioning and all of that. And you can attack with your guns, and then you can also use your personas to do like special attacks, and One thing that I really liked a lot was, you know how in Persona 5, a big part of the turn-based battle system is nailing down and like figuring out how to get like an all-out attack, like over and over, like find the weakness, and that seems to be like the hook of the combat, or the fun of it, right? When you figure that out.
Oh, that's awesome. It's really cool that they're just taking stuff from Persona 5 and even taking like gameplay elements, like finding the weaknesses and all that, and just transferring it into a completely new genre of games. That's really, really cool.
Well, and the way that they're doing it here is I don't remember if enemies have weaknesses or not necessarily, but since you're playing on a grid and where your positioning actually matters, the way you use an all-out attack, they call it a triple threat this time, because I think your party always consists of 3 characters. I could be wrong, but in my demo it was, and all the trailers I saw, I think it was just 3. But if you can position an enemy or a group of enemies within a triangle that your party forms. So like I had, for example, I was playing and I had Morgana up top, or like Joker in the corner, and like Arena in the other corner. Then you can pull off that triple threat, and it just like is like just a massive all-out attack basically on the enemy. But the cool thing is you can, like, certain characters like Morgana still has their like wind attacks, and so you can, and Morgana, like one of the wind attacks allows you to like propel an enemy like just back in the direction that like Morgana's facing. So you can kind of try to, like, instead of aiming for weaknesses, you're almost aiming to like plop your enemies in a certain area and then swing for massive damage, I guess.
That's really cool.
So it is taking like those elements that Persona 5, like that made Persona 5 so fun, but just like kind of spinning them around in a different way, so that I was really impressed with that, how they managed to make that work.
And there's no like social sim in this. It's only like tactical RPG, just to be sure.
I think so. I was trying to kind of ask a bit about that, and it's not that I got like mixed signals. I think I just didn't ask my question properly, because I was playing the game in the moment and was asking the person that was running my demo, and but I don't think there's, I think you'll be able to pop out of this, like, this palace metaverse thing, whatever it is. I think you'll be able to pop out of it, but I don't think there's like a free roam section. But I will say that was like something that got me really excited thinking about, though, because I do like, seeing LeBlanc just painted in like with a different brush was really exciting. So I would love to be able to go explore, Persona's version of Japan in this kind of chibi, like smushed and stretched art style instead, because I really do think they've done a good job with the art direction on this game. So,
do you know like approximately how long the game is?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I haven't, I only played a little bit, and I haven't, maybe it's not official, but the person that was running my demo with me said that they think it's going to be about like a 50-hour game, so not nearly as long as Persona 5 or Royal.
I mean, it's still long. There's still a lot of stuff to do, presumably, maybe different palaces and stuff.
Yeah, and I'm still curious too, like what the main antagonist is going to be as well. Like I guess this isn't really a spoiler, but Persona 5, you kind of really don't figure that out in the first 50 hours of the game, I think. And,
I'm 60 hours in and I still don't know.
Oh, good. Okay, so cool. So, there's double confirmation. I think Persona 5 Tactica might do like a similar thing where that kind of ringleader, like circus leader that is kind of running, like commanding these soldiers and takes control of Ryuji at the beginning. I think they might just be like, the first big boss of the game, and maybe there'll be more. I could be wrong, but my prediction is that that's kind of how it's gonna shake out. And but the enemies' designs are like, there's kind of like these little like grunt, like I was saying, they're kind of like soldiers that you fight against, but then that big ringleader person is like really well animated, and it was kind of giving me like, have you seen Kill la Kill, Felix, by chance?
Oh, I don't think I have.
Oh, it's so good. Crazy anime. It's by the team that did like Gurren Lagann, and they did other really good stuff that I'm blanking on right now. But people will probably know who that team is, and Trigger, Studio Trigger, I think is the name. But yeah, it was giving me vibes of their art direction, and that that had its hooks in me too, because I'm big fans of their they're anime, but
so there's like anime cutscenes also in this one.
Oh, good question. So there's like the LeBlanc scene, for example, was mostly just like you didn't see like 3D character models like hanging out in LeBlanc. It was all just like kind of moving like hand-drawn art that had like a bit of motion to it, I think it was, or like they just often changed they animated the characters, but it wasn't 3D. But I think there are some cutscenes though. I think I've seen in some of the trailers. I don't remember if I got to see any. Oh yeah, because when Ryuji, when he gets, I'm forgetting that you haven't played the game, so like all this that I'm remembering, like you weren't there for it, so so I apologize if I'm fumbling here with my thoughts, but Ryuji,
no
when he gets like mind controlled, that's like a 3D like in-engine cutscene, or it's 3D rendered or something, but it fits the style that Persona 5 Tactica is running with and everything. So
yeah.
But yeah, overall, I like I said, I didn't get to play the game a ton. I feel like the majority of, or like a good half of my demo was like just kind of hanging out in LeBlanc and talking with the Phantom Thieves and kind of seeing how the early parts of the story plays out. But I was really impressed with the triple threat like triangle system that they incorporated into the game. I like, and it's really rare as well. Like I know I mentioned this just lightly before, but I think it's rare where a game can, you can play a 150-hour game like Persona 5 or 5 Royal, and then maybe you've even played Strikers, and then maybe you still are excited for Tactica. I think it's a rare thing for a game to ask that much time from you and then still be, excited to go back to it, and just being able to hang out with those characters again and hear their voices and see them painted in like a different light. I think I'm glad that I got my hands on this game, because it really did kind of flip my perspective about the whole game, because it felt unnecessary until I played it. And now I'm anxiously looking forward to playing more of it, because I want to see what's going on. I want to learn why they're being brainwashed and where they went, and this doesn't seem like it's a Persona Q thing either. Like the 3DS had Persona Q and Q2, where like characters from Persona 3, 4, and then even 5 like got together to fight in dungeons and labyrinths together. I think this is just going to be Persona 5 characters, but maybe they'll open it up with DLC, or maybe there'll be some twists and turns or something at some point.
I mean, I was wondering, like, initially, is this some sort of Persona Q thing? Because it looks very similar, but you assured me, like, before we talked, that this was not it. And also, for the short time that you got with the game, you've done a really good job of explaining what it is, and I'm actually quite excited for it now, since, I'm all on the Persona train right now. So yeah, thank you for answering all my questions and to talking about the game. And it was just really lovely.
Yeah, of course, man. I'm excited for you to get to try it out too, especially just like, because I come in and out of playing Persona 5, and I've been doing that for the past few years, and so I think it's going to be cool to have your perspective as well of this whenever the time comes.
And when does it come out?
It comes out November 17th on Xbox, Switch, and Switch, because Switch is the only place you'll really need to play it. But of course, let us know in the comments down below where your excitement lies for Persona 5 Tactica. If you've played Persona 5 Into the Ground already, or if you've played all the other ones and are looking forward to this, or if we gave you some good insight into what the game might be like, let us know. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like this, then why don't you brainwash that subscribe button into letting you play Persona 5 Tactica early, and then ring that notification bell, because it's always good to see when a new Nintendo Life video goes up, isn't it?
Yes, I totally agree.
Yes. You've joined us. Yes. Thank you, Felix. Thanks for sitting down with me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was.
I'm Zion from Nintendo Life. Stay safe out there, and we will see you all in the metaverse.
For real?